Okay, this is Rototiller number 2. I have the air box for it downstairs in the basement. This one definitely was a little bit easier in some ways than the first Rototiller I did, but a little bit harder in other ways. This one does have a choke mechanism, but I was unable to connect it due to some of the spacing on the actual choke. So now it's a manual choke. It runs halfway decent. It's a bit hard starting. I basically got to let it sit and run and make sure it's going to continue to run. The issue this one was having is it would run for about 5 or so minutes and it would die. It would always restart. So I don't think it's a coil problem necessarily. I think this actually could still have points. I'm not 100% sure on that. But we'll fire it back up in a second. I'm going to go in and get the air box and we'll see what happens. I don't need to test out the tines on this one. They do work since I have rototilled the garden with this one already. I have a neighbor who's wanting a rototiller. I don't know if this is fancy enough for him necessarily. His house is very fancy. So we'll have to wait and see if he does want this one or not. If not, it's going on Kijiji. So, since unfortunately I'm still banned from Facebook Marketplace for not doing anything wrong. But let's see if it'll fire up with no choke. Choke. That's one thing I don't like about these. You gotta hold that. I'm probably gonna put my hand over it. So I think once the air box is on, it will create enough drag on the carburetor where it will start easier. And hopefully this one will be good to go. It's kind of a pain in the butt every time you want to go start it. You've got to take the air box off. But these chokes definitely are not the greatest. So you can see there is gaps in there. So hopefully with the air box will help eliminate those gaps. The choke setup on the other Rototiller is much better. I do prefer it better, and that's the one I'm keeping. So anyways, this is the free one I got. A few other things on this. The carburetor was not tight. The exhaust was not tight. The bolts going between the carburetor and tank were not tight. It did not have a gasket between the carburetor and engine. If you follow James Cameron, possibly, if I remember, I'll post a link to his channel in the description below. He does a lot of generator repairs, and he's basically torques everything. Cover bolts he torques, everything he torques. And this, he would be mad at this one right here since nothing was even tight. I don't torque stuff. If it's something that needs to be tight, I use the impact. If it's something like a carburetor, hand tight, because I have broken carburetors in the past by over tightening them, so I rather just do it by hand, and I'm usually a pretty good judge. But on this here, everything was really finger tight. I'm surprised it actually did run in the first place, but it should be good. I should possibly check, make sure there's oil or grease in the front gearbox. That might not be a bad idea. And this thing should be just about ready to go. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.